Who wants
Yeah,
to fill Sarah in on what happened last week session?
where's my notes?
I'm gonna make a joke. Don't everybody start at once. It's fine. I don't need to know anything. I jest. I actually didn't need to know things. This is an intrigue campaign. I need to know very badly.
Oh, okay. So we started the game. Finally get rid of the rings. I don't know if we're here, but the rings had a curse.
Mm-hmm. I knew about the curse. I didn't know that we got rid of them.
Yeah, so everyone took the ring off. Uh, and we could finally sit down and starting planning the next moves. And we went to the carnival thing, and we talked to Vincent
Mm-hmm.
about getting information towards the lighting elemental and try to get clues and how to deal with it if he has any weakness, how we would
Mm-hmm.
fight, gather the much information as we could. And then we talked to Glinda, I believe her name was, about the griffins. So
Okay.
Her name
the
was
griffins,
Helga.
Helga, thank you. And we also talked to Brobot because we need a construct kind of being to capture the essence of the lighting elemental. So we
Okay.
recruited Brobot for like a night. He got a day off. And then we went to the mountains. By arriving at the mountains, we find two people already fighting a lighting elemental. They look like angelish people with pretty wings, and they're wearing like some kind of flying bow, huge bow. Uh, and we had a little bit of conversation with them. Not we. I think it was Anissa that talk
Okay.
elf, and they just delete the light elemental before our eyes and then get off. But after that, we find another one and we fight those, get the essence. So we find have the essence to make the potion, and
Mm-hmm.
then we are come back to the princess, and in the way back we also see this even huge ship in the sky, and we assume that that's like the bigger ship from the previous ship, if that makes sense, like the mother ship, what other ships convert to kind of way.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
But it was like really far away, so we didn't get much information about it, and we were flying in the darkness. So yeah, and I think that's all. We did most combat last week.
Um, yeah. Then you returned home, returned robots safe and sound, as well as the griffins,
Mm-hmm.
and had a long rest, which is quite beneficial after the day you had.
I was gonna say. I was like looking at my health. I was like, I'm fine. I have all my spells.
Yes, I
That's
hit
a
the
lot to
little.
happen for me to have all my shit.
You did get hit a little bit, but you weren't made the worst.
I slept it off. Okay.
Yeah,
All
pretty
right.
much. You slept off like a broken rib. You're fine.
I'm fine.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, what I'm really mad about is the tailor's bills.
It's
As long as you
definitely a
bleed
bit
all over.
later in the day now, than when you
Oh.
guys normally wake up, but the house seems fine. Mrs. Fallon has told you that a detective came looking for you all while you were out yesterday.
Who did the detective ask for in particular? Like,
Specifically Davina.
just
W-
okay.
Well, you're the leader of the house, so
I need to go call one of my lawyer friends. Excuse me.
are you not a lawyer?
I'm only an idiot represents themselves. Okay, first of all.
I really thought you would be more confident on defending yourself.
No, see, when you defend yourself, you actually give up some like special privileges. That basically, if you hire somebody else to defend you, and they lose, you can always go, well, they were just a shitty lawyer, and make them retry the case. Kind of, a move of last resort.
Gotcha.
But you give that up if you represent yourself. Plus, if you don't represent yourself, your lawyer can kind of be the bad guy, and you can just kind of sit there looking very innocent.
And did the detectives left any message, anything to us?
They did not.
And by detective, do you mean like? I'm assuming that this is a public official. Or is this like a PI?
It's a police detective.
Okay, yeah. Do I know any lawyers who happen to be like in town here?
You will certainly know some lawyers. You can use one of your
Okay.
I know a guy if it's necessary.
Okay, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna get one cover campaign, so I'm just gonna keep that on tap if I need it. I will send him a courier letting him know that I am home.
To your lawyer friend. Or to the
No,
detectives.
to the detective.
Do we even know their name?
Mrs. Fallon
The
was told
detective.
the name. It is Detective Jacques Satan.
Say it again, please.
Jacques Satan.
And I mean, I've lived in this town basically my entire life. Do I know who this guy is? Do I know if this is one of the people who has like arrested my sister before? Like, do I
Roll a
have any
history check.
context for who this dude is? You said history check?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, yes. The
Seven.
famous detective Jacques Satan is rather well known for being one of the better detectives that the city police have to offer. He has certainly arrested more than one of your clients in the past, but sometimes he is a little bit more bumbling.
Like I've seen him fumble evidence before, or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or he'll miss something really obvious during his investigation.
And of course, I'm not gonna point that out as somebody whose clients he has investigated before. Got it. Alright,
Yep. You enjoy a nice array of like granola, fruits, some baked fish for breakfast, and you've sent a courier off to Detective Satan.
and I'm gonna have the kitchens ready to put out like another spread for when he gets here, because I'm going for maximum distraction, so it's like there's gonna be food, there might be light music, there's gonna be drinks. I'm gonna try to make sure everybody's downstairs and there's light chatter when he comes.
Cool. I placed you all here, but I assume everyone goes downstairs at least to break fast.
Yeah.
Yes. Where's my character? Yeah.
And after a little while, there is an almost musical knock at the door. One of the interchangeable irises goes to open it. And brought forwards towards the dining table is a very well-dressed dwarven shaped human with a very thick pair of glasses and a great big bushy beard and mustache. As he reaches close to the table, he bows deeply. Good morning. My name is Detective Jacques Satin. I am sorry that I missed you yesterday.
Yes, actually, we've met before. I'm well acquainted with you and your impressive work for the city.
But of course, you are the disgraced lawyer Davina Hepburn, are you not?
I just kind of make him sit in the fact that he called me a disgraced lawyer in my own house for a second.
The audacity.
The audacity, yeah. I just gotta pause for like a good 1, 2, 3. I am Davina Hepburn, yes. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to my home.
Emphasis on my.
Yeah. Would you like something to drink?
No, I am afraid that I am quite satiated in terms of food and drink at this moment. I have come to ask you about, well, a number of things.
Oh?
Madam, may I speak to you alone?
I don't know, sir. Should I be calling my lawyer? I wink at him.
You may call a lawyer if you wish. It is perfectly within your right to do so, as I am sure you are aware. I just have a few questions about some letters that were found at the scene of a crime.
Oh, interesting. Oops. You know, actually, my lawyer, Javier, will join us in the drawing room. Legal representation.
Jean Javert stands up, tips his hat, and says, well, I do think it's a little bit early for my current work services, but I do believe I can go ahead and get started on the clock right now if we're going to get this out of the way.
I just, I'd rather safe than sorry. Obviously, as you pointed out, currently I am disbarred, so I have no business representing myself, really. Alright, we'll adjourn to the drawing room. See if I get a moment. Family lounge. Iris, drinks to the family lounge.
He follows you after bowing farewell to Umbra, Anissa, and Cain.
You said something about some letters? I can only presume they are addressed to me, since you are coming to speak with me about them.
It is one letter that concerns me. It was found in the pocket of someone who was murdered by eldritch means at an hotel the day before yesterday. It simply reads,
Oh my.
Davina Hepburn and masked man 10:05 a.m. I wondered if you could
quite
elucidate me
cryptic.
on that.
Does that line up with the time that we arrived at the hotel
Yes.
to deal with the priestess?
Yes.
Or priest? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Jean Javier is just gonna, like, not kind of like show any kind of like facial expressions. He's just gonna like sit there and just kind of like listen, just make sure, see exactly how Davina is going to react with the detective.
Huh. Well, that's quite strange. I don't remember writing a letter myself of that nature. What hotel was this found at, if you don't mind my asking? Perhaps it would be some additional context.
What was that? Sorry, Sarah. What was?
She's playing fucking stupid. So she's saying, "Oh, like I never wrote a letter like that. That's really odd. What hotel did you find this at? For some context, if you're able to disclose, of course."
It was found at the
Perhaps I could.
Aurel de Papin.
Aurel de Papin. Okay. I mean, I've been there before for drinks, certainly.
At 10 in the morning?
You know? Sorry?
You were there for drinks at 10 in the morning?
I doubt it. It's a little early even for me. I mean, if I'm gonna have drinks that early, I might as well just have them here, right? Usually the liquor's better. Do you happen to have the letter? Maybe I'll recognize the handwriting.
I apologize. I do not have the letter with me. It has been placed in evidence.
Oh, that's good. I know you have a problem with that.
But if you would be so kind as to produce an example of your own handwriting, it would be very useful to compare the two.
Oh, absolutely. Davina makes a magical motion with her fingers, and a mage hand appears and picks up a quill from a nearby, like, sideboard type table, and starts writing very elegantly, very frou-frou little invitation for drinks, so that anybody who examines this will be like, "Can I get drinks with this person?" Question mark. And pass it over.
Thank you very much. I will say this is clearly not of the same hand. It is the suspicion that it was the deceased person themselves who wrote the note. There was
You know, my family has...
Sorry, go
ahead. My family has been targeted recently by some ne'er-do-wells, so perhaps the two are connected.
That is certainly a surprise to hear. Why has this not been reported to the police?
I'm sure I did report. My mother passed away recently.
Yes, that much we are aware of.
Yes. And my younger sister has been targeted. I'm sure we reported that.
Can you make me a deception check, please?
Okay, I can't roll lower than a 21. I'm pretty sure I can't roll that. 21. Let me double check. Yep, I can't roll lower than 27.
That is certainly higher than a 21. Perhaps the reports are missing. There is quite a lot of backup at the moment. Have you ever worshipped the god Olatra?
Now, I'm gonna have to stop you right there, detective. Now, are you attempting to place any kind of blame or anything. In fact, I kind of want to know what exactly your entire motive for the questioning right now is. Because I believe that originally you were just here for the whereabouts pertaining to this letter that you found. If you're going to be starting to question my client's faith here, it seems a bit suspect that you're trying to align something to where she might be involved with this horrible incident that happened.
D'accord. I apologize for not being more forthcoming. You mentioned that your family had been targeted recently. Um, the corpse that was found, we have linked it to a series of disappearances and murders that have happened over the last week.
Goodness. All nobility?
Many of them have been nobility, yes, but there have been others too of this working class. Many that work closely with nobility.
Well, that's quite concerning.
So,
Um,
seeing this pattern and then seeing your name appear in a list of what look like other checkings of comings and goings inside of the bar in which the corpse was found, I was led to believe that you may be a victim of this serial killer.
well, that is very concerning. As you can see at my dining table, I do retain private security, but have all of these deaths been out in public? Is there anything I should be concerned about or worried about? You notice any patterns I should be aware of? Any different profile on the killer, perhaps?
Most of the murders, they seem to happen at night, which is what made this murder in not only broad daylight, but in an otherwise occupied building so odd. And it was quite bloodless. Many of the previous murders, they have been bloodless too, but because the blood has been drained.
Oh.
We are looking into a vampire being in charge of it before you ask, yes.
Interesting. And this other murder doesn't seem to fit the pattern, is what you're saying.
That is correct. And I was hoping that you could maybe tell us of anything else that you know. Where were your whereabouts 2 days ago in the morning?
Okay, because I wasn't actually here, I'm gonna ask you some questions, Jim.
You were in the hotel.
I was at the hotel where
2 days ago was when we went to the hotel for the priest. And
okay.
because you weren't here, we used you as the distraction.
Okay, did we kill this guy? Are we responsible for that, or did somebody else
Umbra
do that?
did.
Umbra did, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the guy that Umbra killed.
Okay.
Now, granted, it wasn't just a random person. He did scout ahead of time, but yes.
I mean, this guy's watching us. Yeah, no, this guy was clearly a problem and clearly deserved what he got. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't somebody I could like just point a finger at.
To be fair, you went there and you only talked to like the front guy. You made a scene.
It was very. We'll just let you know it was very obvious, and you were not disguising yourself. So
yeah,
you were very much there.
I was there. I made a scene. What did I make a scene over? Because I can.
You were screaming about whiskey, so yes, you were day drinking.
Okay, cool.
I told you about this beforehand.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
And also, you slapped Umbra later and made a scene again at the bar, so you can just say someone hit on you. and you have to leave.
Okay. I mean, to be frank with you, I was there that. I suppose it was morning. I remember it being more afternoon. Regardless, I was, um, I had a little bit to drink, so I don't remember super clearly. Maybe there was someone watching me and I just didn't notice. There was a man at the bar hitting on me quite aggressively, and I honestly had to leave after a few minutes.
Yes, about that. The man in question was described in the notes as a masked man, and when I spoke to the bartender, he gave a more accurate description, and I could not help but notice that one of the hired people at the table that you were talking about matches the description exactly.
Why would I slap my own bodyguard? That's ridiculous.
Indeed, it would be. And yet here we are.
So why would I retain employment of someone who honestly hit on me so disrespectfully? If you'd heard the things that this man said.
Perhaps you
Are you
could.
sure the bartender wasn't just mistaken? I mean, he couldn't even tell it like a Scotch from whiskey, so I wouldn't be surprised.
He did seem quite sure, as well as the two merchants that were witnesses to the murder.
Now, you said that this was performed by some eldritch means, this murder, correct?
That is true.
Well, unfortunately, none of us are capable of such more deeper magics. I myself have a little bit of arcane, and as you know, Davina here, she studied amongst the academics, so her magic is more about with the silver word rather than any form of darker type of styles. Now, if you wish to go and talk to the bodyguard, you can feel free. You definitely question them. However, I do think that unless you're, again, trying to pursue any form of conviction here, I don't necessarily see why we need to be discussing, considering the murder outside of if there was any connections or if Davina knew them personally. In fact, I don't think we even got the identity of the murdered victim either.
It would have been quite easy to work out who he was, and this is why I ask you about faith, because it was clear that the man was a priest of Aladra.
Oh, interesting. Well, I personally don't have any connection to that deity.
Yes,
My family worships Aurelian, which is well known. We do patronize that temple, so.
yes, this is known to me. But after asking around, I have also discovered that you were recently in the temple of Aladra.
Awesome.
So
Oh, yes, for some healing services that I don't necessarily worship.
in the casino, you were there for healing?
No,
Wait,
that
a lot
okay.
of. Oh no! Apologies. I got stuff mixed up. But, okay.
Now,
I mean,
now, Davina, so I do understand that you would think, oh yes, go into the Temple of Elijah. Of course, they might have some sort of worshiping. Let us not forget exactly that the temple is not just for the temple itself, but it also doubles as a casino as well as a bar. So, are you then going to go and question every single gambler and drinker and person that goes to the establishment for maybe a meal at night? Are you going to go and question them as well about their faith?
We are going to question several of them, yes. I ask more specifically because, in addition to the priest being murdered. It appears that he was there to look after the head priest, Tatiana Crescendo, who has also gone missing.
Did we
And it didn't
accidentally
strike
kill
you that
another friendly?
it didn't strike you as perhaps odd? You didn't think that those two things might be connected?
We do indeed believe that they are connected. This is why I ask you about faith and about your whereabouts.
Interesting.
If you have seen anything in particular, either of the times that you were in the hotel 2 days ago?
I mean, I didn't see Tatiana. I didn't see. I was just really there for a drink. Obviously, it wasn't as good of a time as I hoped. My mother died recently. I've been going out to drink a lot at the casino, at the hotel. You know, my sister is here. I'm pretty much her sole guardian now, with my brother doing his knighthood work. So
It has
those
been
have been
quite a
stressful.
stressful
I really
time, especially after she
time.
got disbarred.
Okay, can we stop talking about the disbarment?
No, let's not downplay any of your tragedies or any of your stresses.
Partially for show, partially because Davina's really going through it. She takes a really big drink.
I would ask, so you was there the first time to drink at the bar, and what about when you returned a few hours later? You saw the responders that were on the scene, and they have seen you and your friends, and given detailed descriptions to me. And then you went downstairs.
Come on, you need to tell me these things.
We went back to try to talk to Rogue and see if she was wanting to go with us for the lightning elemental.
Oh, okay.
Because we need a deconstruct.
I mean, as you know, like I said, this is my warrior and my guards. I lost an earring. I had to go back to try to find it.
At a part of the hotel that you had not been in earlier that day?
We were
do
asking
not-
around, seeing if anyone might have picked it up.
It is curious then that you did not approach the police that had been combing the bar in which you were drinking at.
Well, I honestly wanted to avoid a conversation like this. And I give him like a look.
Jean Javert is starting to realize that maybe it was a good idea that Davina got disbarred.
I apologize for the questions, madame, but there are many things that just are not adding up for me.
I don't know. I'm not here to tell you how to do your job, but I don't know if it's necessarily my fault or a problem that things don't add up for you.
Madame, I believe that you know more about the topic than you are letting on. And if you stopped being so guarded, maybe we could work together.
Sir, I think you might have some prejudice against me based on our prior dealings. I've always been very forthcoming with the authorities. However, when I do contact the authorities, half the time you lose my reports. The other half of the time, I'm treated with undue suspicion.
He's scribbling down in his little notebook as you're talking.
It's frankly ridiculous.
So what you are telling me is that you know nothing about the murder, the disappearance, And then for some reason you lied to me just now when you were looking for the earring, when I know that you were talking to an automata.
Yes, we asked a gentleman named Rogue if he had seen my earring.
Rogue has already told us that they know one of your companions, Anissa Cor-Chalybe, I believe the name is pronounced.
And that's why we went to go ask them. Because we know that one of our associates is friends with them and that they were here in town at the hotel.
So you hoped that the robot friend would help you find a missing earring. Did you ever find this earring?
Unfortunately, no, and it was quite expensive.
Well, I hope it turns up.
In case you happen to go looking, it's ruby center, golds, diamonds, and kind of a marquee.
I will make a note and ask and see if any of the guards that were there at the time have found it. The dwarf just sighs, closes his notebook, slips it into an inside pocket, slaps his thighs, and just slinks off of the armchair.
So I would like to.
What? Oh god, what are you doing?
I would like to. While he is walking out, I want to take that notebook.
Okay.
When his back is turned to me, I would like to cast Mage Hand and try to take the notebook.
Okay, it is on like a front inside chest pocket, so that is going to be quite hard.
Okay, let's see if there's something I can.
I mean, it also doesn't help that Mage Hand specifically is visible. It is literally a human hand-sized magical entity.
But it basically allows me to pickpocket using my magical stat instead of my dexterity.
No,
so
you can. It's just not invisible.
Yeah, well, you know, well, he has like lost shit before. He's not perfect. He's a bit bumbling.
A human hand, at least.
So, I assume he's gonna have to make some sort of perception check if I were to do this.
Yep.
Okay, so I would like to cast Silvery Barbs, giving him disadvantage on that, and I would like to give myself advantage on the check.
Doesn't Silvery Barbs hurt?
No, it's a magical distraction. So like the drink that was sitting in front of him just slides off the table and distracts him for a second.
It's also a reaction.
Yeah, when they
succeed.
succeed.
If he succeeds on it. Okay, so I can cast that as a reaction after I cast my Mage Hand.
Yep. Okay, give me a sleight of hand roll, please.
Can I use Charisma since I'm using my magical Mage Hand?
Don't push it.
Alright, does he succeed on seeing that?
He rolled a 2.
Oh my god.
I don't need to cast Silver Barbs.
But he has a plus 14 perception. He's an investigative rogue.
But he's also like, because he's a detective, I'm like, he's probably an intelligence-based rogue. His wisdom probably is not awesome.
So he does have expertise in perception. His passive perception is higher than a 10. But he's he's not fully paying attention as he pats his jumps up, pats his pockets, just making sure he's still got everything. He bows to you. I do hope that if you have anything else that you may want to elucidate me with? That you find
I'm sure I will file
merits.
reports that will get lost. I say with kind of like a frustrated smile, like I'm about to have a Karen moment.
I am working rather diligently on this case. Contact me directly if you have anything else to be concerned about. Good day, madam.
Safe travels, sir.
And I assume when he's turned is when you kind of made
Yeah, when he's
handed
like
out.
turning.
Yeah.
Yep.
He walks out of the house.
Okay. I wait like until I hear his footsteps recede. And then I flash the notebook to Javier.
Now, Davina, I'm obviously not in the position to be questioning you as you're the one that went to go study it after all. However, due to some of my own proclivities, I do believe that being a little bit more honest is a better lie rather than making up a bunch of horse shit that can easily be, smelt.
Well, here's the thing. The only documentation of that interview, the only proof he has of it, is Tap's notebook. So, he might misremember some details. And, you were here with me, so you can vouch for what I said, whatever you think I ought to have said.
I can definitely vouch for the approval of your disbarring, but we'll see what happens next.
Honestly, I just didn't go to court that much. Good lawyer avoids court. So,
Good lawyer also knows when the client should shut up.
hey, I didn't hear you shushing me.
I would have thought you would have had better senses.
Plus, I'm pretty sure Jean Javert does not have a law degree.
Jean Javert does not have a law degree, no.
He has not passed the bar exam. You have.
Now I'm just a small-time Orisian lawyer.
I'm just like, there's no proof of it. I just took the proof. We're fine.
Yeah,
the fact that this guy loses, like, if he says shit, I'm just gonna be like, this guy is a dumbass. He can't even hold on to his own notebook. Like,
add stealing evidence to the list.
oh, I'm gonna read it and then we burn it, and he lost it somewhere. So I'm just gonna flip through this real fast and try to see if there's anything of value, and Jean Javert can maybe look over my shoulder and see if he also sees anything.
Oh, Jean Javert's not getting involved. He is taking full, no.
Walk out and show this to. I know Umbra's not here, but I feel like Umbra would be the best person to show this to. So, when Bailey is back next, maybe TLDR him and make this in this book. But I will take it in front of Umbra and give Umbra the download of, like, hey, just so you know, you might be lightly suspected of murder, but I tried to cover for you as best I could. Here's this notebook I stole.
I think Umbra would probably take that in a, quietly amused kind of way. What have Cain and Anissa been up to while the others were being interviewed?
I'll let Cain offer up something first.
Actually, I would try to eavesdrop while they're talking, but like being really subtle about it. Just like walking to the front door, and taking an air and then come back, kind of way to see if I heard anything. But mostly I would just stay put and wait for the tea.
Fair. Anissa?
So how they would word they want to say. I don't think they'd verbally say anything, but we'll just hand Cain a note. I will write it up properly, but the gist of it is like, how do I word this? Anissa is a very insightful and perceptive individual. So they noticed when you went, I'll say zealous against our first encounter with the undead, the vampire and stuff. Wouldn't want to pry into it, hence the note, so nothing is verbal, but you have their support should you choose to pursue that further. They only ask for you to train it in just a little bit, because you could get yourself hurt, i.e. throwing yourself out of a second-story window.
Okay.
It's clearly a place of concern.
I think I would write the other face of the no. Like first, I wish, and then more like I wish I could get her kind of way, and it was more of a triggering reaction, a PTSD reaction. It was not really my intention to pursue that person, that creature. It was more like a uncontrolled reaction due to PTSD.
I'm gonna let you roll an insight on that one, mate.
Ooh. Straight inside. Okay.
They're not actively trying to hide it. The use of the word PTSD, the acronym, I suppose. I guess you look at them. I don't know, their eyes. That word is probably the first time you've seen her react almost in a human manner, and then returns to that, stoic sort of attitude.
I see. Trauma bonding.
Tea and trauma bond.
D.
See, this is why Jean Javier can't get along with anybody, because he doesn't trauma bond, he just bullshits.
He has the time of his life.
I mean, I'm going through a lot of trauma. I'm just not bonding.
Well, you drink to forget. So,
Damn.
and you rich.
Honestly, I mean, I drink to numb the pain. I don't really want to forget, but that's a whole other thing.
And you
I
rich.
feel nothing.
So...
Drinks enough of whiskey.
Yeah, beyond that, we'll just wait for a lawyer who I'm in full agreement with Jean Javert needed to be disbarred for the safety of society.
Oh,
Thank you.
And my favourite wizard.
I never claimed to be a good guy, okay?
You definitely didn't. Can I make another thing that I totally forgot? The I save, not save, but I try to memorize the face and the anatomy of the two persons that we encounter while hunting the lighting elemental. And I want to like try to draw anatomy talking in a way of like trying to identify what kind of species it is. So I'm just like drawing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you did that, I believe, at the end of last session.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
rolled
okay.
20
a
wisdom.
20, yeah. So you
Oh, okay.
you do already have a very serviceable anatomical diagram of the pair of them,
Okay.
as well as a decent representation of their faces.
Okay, okay.
Uh, yep. Soon thereafter, a lawyer and a pretend lawyer will return back. Davina, you have stolen the notebook, and it is quite not damning, but it's very clear that you were quite obviously lying because this guy's done his homework before turning up on your doorstep.
Yeah,
And
because Rogue fucking talked. Like, I was like keeping my mouth shut on purpose. I was like, "There's no way." Okay.
well, it's not just Rogue. There's also like the 3 witnesses to you and Umbra there who have given a very accurate description of Umbra.
Mhm.
It is the account of the receptionist who saw you come in twice in one day. The fact that you were very, very unforthcoming to the police who were there, and they have given their own accounts as well. There is an account that you have also been seen at the casino, and there is several different threads as to where Tatiana Crescendo could be.
I give, because again, guys, not a great person. I'm giving Umbra specifically all of the witness names that are in here
Uh-huh.
in a very thorough and detailed way. And as we're going through each page, I'm just like tearing the pages out and just like burning them. As we're going through these.
Mhm.
Rogue is a problem. Someone needs to talk to Rogue. Okay, someone needs to talk to Rogue and get them to. Apparently, Rogue spoke to the police. Yeah, they thought that was like a good thing to do. And here's the sheet. You can look at it. You can look at this page of notes before it gets burned.
I'd rather not incriminate myself. Thank you.
That's what I said.
So, just where. You know what? I don't want to know where you got the notebook from. I don't want to know what.
I found it on the floor.
Of course you did. Wonderful. Right, well, I'm gonna go and deal with the whole, thing we were meant to be doing before we got sidetracked to a carnival, to a mountain, then back to the carnival, and just walks off.
Yeah, I think we sure need to go back to the princess and make that potion as soon as possible.
Alright. Once both Umbra and I have adequately kind of like memorized the witness names and accounts, notebook is going in the fire, and I wait until it's fully burned before I walk away.
The notebook burns.
Also, in the notebook, when we were going through it, they mentioned like that they were going through all of these other cases that they thought were related to a vampire. Was there any information on that, or was this notebook like kind of just more recent and just related to them trying to get us for murder?
There are allusions to other cases, like a little bit just related to Humboldt murder. Research later.
Okay.
And some like remarks on the death of the priest and how it doesn't quite add up with like the MO of the other murders.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's no specific information about like the disappearances or the murders that Detective Satan was talking about.
Gotcha. would I know if these, like based on like the point at which this case is, these notes probably wouldn't be in any other paperwork because nothing has been like filed. There's been no like arrest warrant or anything filed on me clearly. Based on my character's best judgment at this time, would this be a good time to call in my I know a guy to get to hire a lawyer, or by destroying this notebook, like just give me a refresher on what the actual law is here? Like, have I actually like successfully destroyed crucial evidence, or do I need more assistance?
I mean, you have successfully destroyed crucial evidence in a sense, but it's been done in quite an easily detectable manner, and you do get the sense this
I mean, he checked that he had it before he left my place. We all saw him do it.
Yep. Even so, it's definitely going to, this isn't over. Put it that way.
Okay. So I have given Umbra all of the witness names, so we'll see what we decide to do with those people. What?
Did you already destroy it?
I mean, if you said something while we were going through it, I wouldn't have just tossed it in. Like, there's a reason I out in front of everybody.
What's the material in the tunnel to the castle? Like, is the ground dirt or is it stone?
The ground is dirt.
I may have a less traceable way to dispose of that.
What does that mean?
Well, if we recall our little shortcut to the castle, which the princess has allowed us to use, there are magical wards in place which allow no detection to happen anywhere in there. So let's say that, I don't know, a sudden notebook happened to be buried in the ground on the path halfway to the castle in a place with magical runes and wards that allow you to be able to not have any detection of anything on the inside. Might be a better idea than just trying to say, oh, we decided to have a bonfire in the backyard because I was feeling a little festive for the solstice.
I mean, like, there are fireplaces in every room. It's not like, people are going to be like, you specifically built a fire for this. But also, if you want to, I mean, we could potentially use some information in here. So if you think we can get it to her quickly, because people, once it's destroyed, and like, but I don't want any divination to find this. So
Well, exactly. That's why the tunnel is a good spot. There are magical runes in there that prevent any form of divination or sight inside of it.
Would please clarify to me, but would be any divination to find what ashes?
Ashes can technically be repaired.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we'll take it to how far is it to get there? Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. I shouldn't be holding this.
There's a bookshop that we go to, and that has a secret tunnel which leads to the castle.
Okay.
But
So
the princess has assured us that there's like runes and stuff enacted that prevent any form of divination on anything inside of there.
Okay. This kind of sucks because like Bailey's not here right now, but I feel like he's the best person to like sneakily go and do that because I feel like we're definitely being watched right now.
Well, we do need to go through that to see the princess anyway, so...
Anissa's already gone.
Oh yeah.
Anissa's already gone. Okay, cool. Alright, someone who is, like, not me, because if there's an arrest warrant, I will definitely be named in it, needs to hold this notebook.
John Javier will do it.
Okay. You're a lawyer, you won't be searched. Trust me, I know.
He's got lawyer immunity.
It's one of those where it's The funny thing is, he's not actually a lawyer, and nobody asked for his credentials. They just believed that shit. Partially, probably because I'm me.
So I take it everyone follows Anissa to Gadolf's Goodreads.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. My sister's probably not up yet, but I'll leave a note with one of the maids that I've gone out and I'll be back. And if the police come, don't talk to anybody until a lawyer.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be very good to leave physical notes. To leave
Fine,
a
I'll
physical note that specifically says "Don't talk to the police."
That's a normal thing to tell people.
I'm going to leave evidence that I don't want any of my family, as I'm suspected in a murder, to not talk to the police.
That's very normal. I mean, okay, am I being crazy right now, or is that not like very normal to do when there's like something legal going on?
That's very normal if you are if you're the bad guy in a Columbo episode.
Well, I think it is.
Like I just not to talk to people.
I think it's because how it's wording. I think if you just say like, "Oh, if the police comes
If the
to me
police
again,"
come, call off Jeff.
Hey, if the police come, don't talk to them.
let it talk to me. I'm the lady of the house. I'm the lady of the house. So
now, what did your sister mean by this? During the investigation of a murder.
Because you guys are making these comments right now, as I'm sitting there, you guys are making these comments, and I'm editing the note as you guys talk.
Just, my rule of thumb for out of character stuff, whenever I'm like writing incriminating evidence, is would this get me jailed in an episode of Columbo?
And
the answer is yes.
Very not real, because telling your loved ones, "Hey, talk to a lawyer" if cops show up is very legal, and that's your legal right. But no, it's fine. Yeah, I will. Honestly, yeah, the ACAB.
So you write a note
Yeah.
instead of just like telling one of your housekeepers to pass the message on?
I'm just gonna tell my housekeeper. No, I like after like 2 minutes of doing this whole like draft bullshit, I just throw it in the fire, and then I tell the housekeeper, "Hey, so just like you did when I wasn't here earlier, if the police show up for any reason, please let them know that I am not in the house, and that they can return at a later time. And if they insist on talking to Hayden for some odd reason, let her know to call our brother to be present, and possibly one of my work friends. She is 15, shouldn't be alone with those ne'er-do-wells."
Mrs. Fallon will bow and nod and vow to pass on the message.
I trust Mrs. Fallon implicitly. Okay, let's go.
All of you head out to Gadolf's Great Reads. The bookseller, Gadolf, will look at the four of you in surprise. "Hello! Your friend has already unlocked the door."
oh, and did he get the key that we talk about?
"He did. I finished making it yesterday."
Thank you. And we're gonna proceed to the castle.
Yep.
Left again, and down, and the door is locked. Because I'm assuming Anissa would lock it behind her.
Yes.
Yes.
Umbra. No, probably not Umbra. Not after the last time.
I cast knock. Just kidding. I don't have that spell, but that would have been funny. Yeah, I'll let Umbra give it a shot, and if Umbra can't get it open, then I will try something. Also, what happened last time that we're laughing about? I feel like I missed the kikiing.
I can give a guidance to Umbra, a little pat on the shoulder. Like, don't worry, you have it this time. Like it was not bad last time. It was just average, and everyone is shit on Umbra.
Because Umbra's so like mysterious all the time, so this time he does much better, and the lock falls apart like butter. And soon it's open. The four
Awesome.
of you
Let's
head in, and he will try to relock it behind him using thieves' tools. And it takes a fair bit longer. It's not, locking a door using thieves' tools is not something most thieves practice on a regular basis.
Yeah, why would you relock it when you can only unlock it? But a smart thief locks the door behind them.
He wasn't raised in a barn, as far as you know.
As far as I know, he definitely was not.
Now you're all in the secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
halfway through the secret tunnel, Jean Javert will like to take the evidence notebook.
Which has notably not been burned.
Yep. I thought for sure I would have something that would help. I'm just gonna go ahead, dig.
With your claws.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, might as well. And like, I'm gonna dig like maybe a 1 foot. It can be shallow. I'll dig like a 1 foot hole, put the book in there, and then just kind of like recover it with dirt.
Cool. It is buried. And
Yeah, that's it.
while you're doing this, I believe Anissa would reach the princess's quarters.
Go through. Just no real grace to it. Just with the stuffed hammer. Like, I can't remember what it was exactly, but
Yes, it was
I
like
can
a plush hammer with like a contraption woven into the handle of the hammer, which is notably a little warm to the touch now. You see Clara and Gwendolyn seem quite hard at work. They're both poring over old notebooks. Do you think the catalyst may be a little? Oh, Anissa.
walks up, puts the hammer on the table. There you go.
So it is like this bright yellow and red, like striped and glittery hammer. And Clara just looks. That's lovely.
The essence of a lightning elemental in there.
Ah ha ha. Wonderful, wonderful. We can get working on the reversal potion. As she
Please
picks
tell
it
me
up.
that will be enough.
Yes, it must be.
Wonderful.
The two of them put their notebooks to the side and begin working on making that reversal potion. The essence of the elemental is firstly is used to light a Bunsen burner, and then it is somehow connected up to a series of pipes, and you can see this fine blue mist that just slowly travels and infuses itself into this potion and turns it a rather opaque silvered colour. And as it's done, the rest of the party finally make their way through and enter into the wardrobe.
And then get out of the closet.
Yes. You can hear the sounds of talking in the room beyond. The door probably left slightly open.
We just walk the room. Good morning, Princess Gwendolyn.
Oh, lovely. The rest of you are here, just in time. We've made the potion.
While they'll talk, I'm going to go to Tatiana and see if anything changed on her condition, if she's worse or better. I don't know.
Give me a medicine check, please. They look pretty much the same as
Okay.
they were. They definitely seem that they're in limbo
Okay.
at the moment. Clara, as you're looking over, Clara will approach you, Cain, offer up the potion. Would you like to administer it to them?
Look over to everyone for confirmation. Like, should we do it this now?
Kind of need to do it now. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise our prince, like, we're literally on a timer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'll take the potion, and with my many years of administering medicine, I'm gonna give them the potion to wake them up.
You manage to coax it down their throat pretty easily. It takes about half a minute to a minute for you to begin seeing like more rapid signs of life emerging, but finally Tatiana's eyes open up. I just give a big yawn. Where am I?
Tatiana,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna check the pulse. You know those lighting things that doctors put on your eyes to see your your uh, reflection.
I don't think
And
any of us can cast light.
maybe just put a pen or something in
There's
the
Okay,
middle.
if you just grab a candle.
There's
Yeah.
literally a table lamp right next to you.
Yeah, just to see the reaction and if they are like fully awake and processing.
Yep,
And then
their pupils properly dilate when light is shone into them. Pulse is a bit slow. Skin's quite cold, but otherwise they seem normal. They kind of bat away the lamp as you try and shove it in their face. Who are you?
I just gonna hold them by the neck, sit them down, and then give room for everyone who's going to do the questioning.
I just want to clarify, we're not being violent or anything.
No,
Right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I think I must have just misunderstood when you said hold them by the neck.
No, like you know when you put the hand by the back of your neck and then you lift someone like they're lying down and you just like help them sit down kind of
Oh.
way.
Yeah, I misunderstood that as well. I was thinking you were like grabbing her by the scruff or something.
No, just help them to sit down and then keep holding them for them not to like fall down or anything.
Levi will stand up out of the chair and just take a tentative step towards the bed as he doesn't quite trust your intention, but seeing that you're treating Tatiana quite gently, he backs off and just looks at you all, awaiting the questions.
See, I think we're at an issue here because I think Bailey might have had the bulk of the questions.
Yeah,
Mm.
the problem.
I didn't know until now that he wouldn't be here.
I thought for sure that you knew he was working this weekend. Yeah.
Well, we can ask what we can, and then
I'll
we
roleplay it
can
with
can we
Bailey.
yeah.
Quick, we need to access Bailey's notes and see exactly what he wanted to ask.
Can we just like retcon and say that we did the questioning and then like come back and do this when Bailey's actually here?
We can do that.
Okay.
Is that cool? Are you guys okay with a little bit of wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff?
Well, I think the one concern that we do have is we need their. Do we need their blood for the reversal, or
Do we?
Hold on.
to be able to reverse the lycanthropy that Kurt is currently afflicted by?
I mean, if we do we need a lot? Because we could just like, bam. Sewing needle.
Don't recall if that was confirmed or
I
denied.
don't remember that being like a thing, but
I mean, blood is
that's why I was
fairly
asking.
important. I don't believe that's the case. No.
Okay.
But Clara and Gwen have been experimenting with different ways to make this reversal potion. But Tatiana is also awake and able to be asked about the condition. As they are the head werewolf, they'd probably know a lot more about it.
Sorry, I'm back.
Okay. Well, you see, it turns out that you've been put out by some ne'er-do-wells for quite some time, and it seems they've been utilizing your special gift to convert those into their own pack, so to say, I guess, is the word phrasing you can use here. How exactly did you get all of this as far as the lycanthropy and all that? Because it seems that people have been interested and know about your certain proclivities.
It was a gift given to me by the great goddess Aladra, and one of her servants, a sister Starkfeather.
Darkfeather. Okay.
Starkfeather.
Oh, Starkfeather. I was gonna say Darkfeather. Okay, that sounds Starkfeather. Yeah, no, I have no clue because I have nothing to do with religion.
Though you
Did
have
you know
heard
this just
allusions.
beforehand, or did they just appear to you out of nowhere and gave it to you?
I was praying to Aladra one evening, and the sister appeared before me, saying that she had been sent, and was instructed to bestow a boon upon me for my devoted service.
With
Cain, Sorry, go ahead.
With my limited knowledge about gods, would I know if this kind of action would be normal? Like bestowing gifts like this, and even more like this specific one, because that does not sound like a gift.
Well, you are quite familiar that gods are able to um, make their own decisions and interfere with lives of mortals in any way that they choose.
Which is honestly rude.
Some kinder gods are, are occasionally known for giving boons to devoted followers.
Okay.
Now, can you describe this, Sister Stockfeather?
Yes, she was a albino Aarakocra.
Hell no.
Gate remembers. Jean Javier doesn't know, but Gate remembers. Interesting. And you had never seen her before? She just apparently came up into the city and bestowed this upon you?
Indeed.
How long ago?
About a month ago.
And in what manner was it bestowed upon you?
I just sat there while she chanted something in a language I don't know. Sounded a little bit draconic. I only know enough draconic to ask where the bathroom is.
Is there,
Honestly, please.
how long do we know that Tatiana was under?
They've been under for about 5 days.
5 days.
Sorry,
Okay.
7 days it would be now.
Alright, so they got the gift a month ago and they've been put under for a week and then had their blood drawn to convert others into vampires and werewolves and stuff.
Yeah, but that's some missing piece here. Because why would they give a gift to someone outside for an outsider if they need the blood? They could just like give to some person inside.
I mean, I think it's debatable how much of a quote unquote gift this was. I think that might have just been like a religious dressing up of we're gonna use you for this purpose. Therefore,
Jean
we wouldn't want you to.
Javier. Yeah, because like Jean Javier has a theory, and it's possible that it stems because Tatiana is a changeling.
Okay.
So it could have something to do which like mutates the
Compound this blood has potentially special properties.
or
Yeah.
it could be that the combination of changeling and lycanthrope could do something that makes them more usable for these types of purposes rather than just grabbing any other devotee that they have and utilizing them.
So you think Tatiana was purposefully targeted? Because
Jean Javert's lived in the city for quite some time. Knowing like kind of like the population, like having been around, like what's the general census of like changelings to other species?
Changelings are very rare, and they are considered quite a blessing when one is born. They are considered to be like a shard of the Emperor, as he himself was also a changeling. The late Emperor.
You guys probably remember at that little fair thing that we went to, the carnival. Like there was a changeling.
That was
there,
a
and it was
doppelganger.
Like, doppelganger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Doppelgangers are different.
Yeah, I mean slightly, but they do a similar thing of like they can change their appearance. And it was considered a carnival trip to be able to do that?
They're not considered on the same like level of sentience as an individual that a changeling is.
Yeah.
A doppelganger is considered a bit more of a monster than a citizen.
They're more reflective than they are. It could be that. So, like, consider that a changeling can willfully, like, change themselves. Doppelgangers
yeah,
are
also,
more kind of reactionary.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, with the doppelganger is like you have to have like a perfect carbon copy to copy. With a changeling, you can just imagine your body being different and change in different ways,
Mm-hmm.
which which valid, and I got.
Yeah, so that's what Jean Javert is kind of thinking.
Okay.
Now it might be a little difficult considering how long you've been under, but do you happen to remember who you last interacted with that you then ended up in your catatonic state? I guess comatose is the better word.
They seem to be racking their head quite a lot. I was at the casino all night. I must have seen many people. There was a rather charming gentleman who
Blonde hair, real fancy looking.
yes, he attempted to dance with me.
Davina should remember that guy because that's the vampire.
That's actually the vampire's master.
Yeah.
Oh, have I met the vampire's master yet?
Nope.
Nope.
I'm sad. I guess I'll have to wait for my Dracula moment.
I do remember one other thing about the Aarakocra. She wore a necklace with a handprint engraved in rubies.
Does Umbra react to this?
Yeah, his head kind of shoots up. The sigil of the core.
Mother.
Yeah, that much we got.
These guys need to
Just-
chill out, honestly.
So, just to remind, the sigil of the core of night is a white handprint on a
but
black and red
rubies.
background. So so a red handprint, it seems to be a different version.
Could this be like an unauthorized like offshoot of the core? Like,
Well, we know
Yeah.
that there is a splinter cell which is trying to take over as the main, and Umbra's entire goal is to try to keep like his own interests. Like he's helping specific people to maintain control, but these people, as far as we know, are under Mercury.
Do you happen to remember
Okay.
the name of the splinter cell?
That one went past me.
the name of what?
This splinter cell.
Bailey would know.
Bailey would know.
Bailey would know.
Your characters would know. It is the Cult of the Hand.
Cult of the
Oh,
Hand.
yes.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay,
God.
real quick. Rubies seemed like a very specific choice, though.
I mean, they're just
Can I?
red stuff.
Well, besides the obvious, I just want to see if I can like make any kind of like cultural connection. See if there's a reason like for Ruby, like if it's connected to anything either religious or maybe like historical.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'll go specifically historically.
Okay. Gemstones all have like their own things they symbolize and
Like
all
flowers.
that. Yeah. There's definitely like a language there, so you can roll for history.
Okay. 14.
Rubies are very specifically considered a kind of two-faced gemstone. They historically have only ever been really mined in Ystari. And they particularly symbolize both change and conservatism.
Yeah, it would make sense considering the people who are in Ystari, the Undying Court. Wait. Oh. That would make sense for a lot of things, huh? Javier is gonna turn around to Gwen. Your brother, the one who lacks all the fancy jewelries and all that, the one we had talked about giving your little partner here a ring. Does he have any fancy proclivities towards any gemstone in particular?
Yes, mostly he is a fan of obsidian, onyx, and rubies.
And of course, it would make sense that a noble like him would be able to maintain certain trade routes as far as locking in gemstones of such value.
I suppose
I mean,
so.
you don't even have to have your own trade route. You just have to know a guy. But yeah.
Yeah, but considering that rubies, if I understood correctly, rubies are like a Yostari specific gemstone.
Yeah.
So it would have to specifically be a import, and because it is also, I'm going to assume, culturally significant, especially to the Ostari, it's not going to be an easy to come across gemstone.
Especially since now the two nations, Athington and Ystari, are technically at war.
And because
I
of
guess
that means that somebody has to have already had either a pretty decent, like, store, which would have to be limited to, you know, gemstone people. But even then, they probably won't even have like access to that kind of stuff. But if he specifically has like a proclivity towards rubies, that's not necessarily damning, but it's also like, you know, hey, why you got something like this that's already kind of
Why
like
you got something
situated with this?
Yeah. I mean, just liking them alone isn't necessarily suspicious. I mean, you know, Davina was just talking about losing a pair of ruby earrings, so that's not necessarily like. I mean, there's some people like red's just their color, and they'll do
Why
whatever
did
it
you
takes
say
to get.
ruby, by the way? Great, that's gonna be connective now. Out of character. We're not focusing on that.
Davina said that because her hair is red, so if somebody was like, "Oh, I didn't see you wearing earrings," she could have just been like, "Oh, it just blended into my hair."
This is why you ask about world lore.
In an intrigue game.
Okay. Shoot, what was Gwen's brother's name again?
River?
Reaver? Yeah.
So the Gwen doesn't have a brother, but has two cousins.
Yeah.
Austin and River.
Right, yeah, okay. Right, large family, nothing directive.
Yeah. Austin is a guy and River is non-binary.
Okay, so right, so River, Well, no, we already know who Tatiana met with.
Yeah.
I have a question. To Tatiana. About the guy who invite you to dance. Did he happen to tell you uh what his name was?
Mm. Sabal. Sabal
Yeah,
Defante.
the Fante. Okay. And what other information did you manage to learn about this gentleman?
I wasn't particularly interested in learning anything about him.
Well, I just assumed that since you were both dancing, you had some
He
small
asked
talking.
me to dance. I refused.
Huh.
Ah, screw it. I'm the suspicious type. Why not? At any given point, has
Yeah.
Tatiana been lying to us?
No.
That's good.
They just woke up. They don't have the capability of lying. Have you ever tried to lie as soon as you woke up?
Yeah.
Well, Davina would nail it.
I mean, the real question is, when is Davina truthing? Girl lies to herself. Like,
Delusional.
No, honey, that hair really does look good on you. Yeah, it seems Tatiana is quite open and forthcoming. You were right, they don't appear to be a part of, like, the core or their conspiracy.
Would, based on other information that we had about lycanthropy, uh, would uh would King assume that if Tatiana got quote unquote cure of this curse slash blessing, would that kind of fuck up the plan of the code of the hand, and if it's possible at all?
What you know of lycanthropy is that only the death of the head werewolf would result in a permanent change in those who have been infected afterwards. Curing Tatiana does not necessarily mean that everyone else will magically not be lycanthropes anymore.
But
But
that
it's
would
also
alpha.
well, it's also questionable because it's also they weren't necessarily turned directly by Tatiana either. So even it I'm not saying that the death thing won't work, but the cure thing might be an issue because it might be like a workaround kind of thing. Like they must have done something, considering that they had to draw blood from Tatiana to do all of these conversions.
It was
And we
not
know that the cult of the hand has a very specific proclivity as far as sanguimancy and all that.
it was not done the traditional way. But I do believe above say that if we happen to cure Tatiana, they would not be able to make more uh slaves.
okay.
Okay, but
I mean, that's under the presumption that those that were turned by Tatiana can't turn anyone else. Which, do you know if that's true?
We don't.
Well, I don't know, like out of character, if we're going off of the idea that werewolves and vampire kind of mythos are like switched around, the idea of vampirism is that spawns can't turn people, only only like actual vampires can. Even then, a
And
vampire can turn people into spawns and then convert them into vampires if they so choose, but only
okay.
an actual vampire can turn people into vampires or vampire spawns. So if we kind of apply that kind of idea to lycanthropy in this world, it could be possible that these aren't werewolves, but they're more the
Puppies.
vampire spawn version of werewolves, which means
I
that
mean, but one. I mean, I don't know if we're assuming that one was just like the alpha, but one bit Frederick and Frederick turned. So the prince.
Would
Yeah,
Clara know that? Because Clara studied a lot of werewolf and lycanthropy.
I think we shared that information because we were looking for a cure the first time we came here.
Yeah.
again, this is out of character, kind of like logic thinking. I'm not
Okay,
trying to say
yeah.
that this is specifically what it is, but
I think
no,
Kate,
I think Jean Javert, though, in character, would think that that's not feasible because of the fact that Tatiana is of the belief. But yeah, Jean Javert will just speak up and say, I don't necessarily enjoy bringing bad news to those, especially those of faith and those of a higher faith like yourself, but I don't necessarily believe this was a gift of Eladra.
But it has all of the hallmarks of one. The two
It,
sides of the same coin.
the thing about manipulation is, as soon as you know exactly what one is willing to accept when offered, you just need to know exactly what to say and how to say it. The amulet you described to us is of a faction that is currently trying to do some damage and take over, it seems. If we are to be correct in thinking, whoever this stock feather you had interacted with, it is possible that they were also in line with the gentleman that you met when you had been put under, and then also the same group that had been drawing your blood to convert people into werewolves.
Ah. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
I never like to be the bearer of bad news, but it is good to see these things a bit more logically. Again, not trying to downplay your faith or anything like that. I am one to respect people's religious preferences. However, I do just want you to understand exactly all of this. And I do know that two sides of the same coin with Eladra, this may be seen as sort of, maybe it's still within the blessing, but this is currently, as far as you're concerned with your involvement in this and what we know, it's more of a manipulation, unfortunate.
and to be honest, even if it was a true blessing, just think that this blessing in the wrong hands would cause a lot of trouble and death and chaos. So,
Which is apparently the case.
would you perhaps be okay with getting rid of this thing?
If it is not indeed the wish of my god, I would like it gotten rid of. I will resolve to
Oh.
help you all in any way I can.
Well, we're working on that. You can pray about it, see exactly what she says.
Now the shade.
I will
Okay,
do
I was
so.
muted because I'm slurping coffee, but the way I fucking laughed at that, oh my god. Good job.
Currently, we are trying to receive a cure, which is to benefit us directly. We are trying to specifically help someone that is afflicted by the same exact curse, which was made by not saying you directly, but was utilized by you, and we are just trying to get that fixed up. Perhaps there is a way to fix it if everyone is capable of getting that all set up. Maybe we can get you set up with a cure if you do wish to remove this from yourself. Otherwise, I mean, I don't see any harm. I don't think they're specifically any type of wrong hand or anything. It just seems that they happen to be a victim of happenstance, as it were. But even the bad luck leads over to the good luck, and it seems that your good luck is rising up right now.
That is a good perspective.
And one last thing is that while you're still being chased by this group, so I would say for you to stay with the princess for the time being and lay low until we figure out a way to help you. And then I'm gonna look off to the princess for confirmation that Tatiana can stay.
The princess smiles and nods in a welcoming manner.
Oh, right. One other thing. Did we get the name of that priest that Umbra murdered?
No.
That wasn't in the notebook.
Oh yes, sorry, it would have been in the notebook.
Ha ha.
Good points. The name was Janice Aldrich.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask specifically over towards one of your priests right here. Janice Aldrich? Does that name happen to ring a bell?
Not at all.
Claimed. Now, a little bit messy, but you know, whatever. What isn't messy nowadays, especially with a war going on? By the way, there's a war going on. I think you should be made aware of this. It's getting pushed a bit further since you were put to sleep. Just no stress. Just letting you know. Anyway, there was someone impersonating to be a priest of Eladra, a Janice Aldrich, who apparently in the bar of the hotel you were being kept in had been keeping note and record on people coming in.
At this point, Levi will crop up. Yes, it was quite a scary looking fellow. I can't say I recall the name or the face. But if they are indeed looking for me.
Oh no, they aren't looking for you at all. They're dead.
Oh, the people they worked for.
Well, that is true.
It's
But-
probably best for me to lay low. You are right.
That wasn't the way I was going with it, but Jean Javert won't argue.
I will stay and help the princess with the research. If you all wouldn't mind helping to track down these false wolves, I suppose. Find whoever is the one responsible for spreading this, I guess the Sabal figure.
Oh, we're definitely working on it. This just happened to be a little side project in entire main case involving around the specificities of the people that happen to be involved. But, you know, seemed like a good idea to help out.
I do recall one of my employees, and Mr. Amos Fincher, was acting quite unusual not too long ago. Maybe he saw Sabal doing something while he was there.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but that one is, um, let's just say they went to the other team.
They
We
what?
talked, yeah, we talked to them a while ago, and they seem to be, um, how can I put this? Different, transform, gift, if you may so say.
I do not see why that could be a problem. Instead of question him, you could just follow him, and surely
No,
eventually he will go back to the lair of this Sabal.
well, now that caught me off guard because that's a good idea.
In order to be a head priest, one must be very well read. Just seems natural to go to the bottommost rung that you know of and work your way up from there if you are looking for someone.
Indeed. Well, I do believe there's nothing else we want to ask you now, so I would
Yes.
suggest you to rest a little bit. I know you've been asleep for quite a while, but it's quite different of induced coma and a chosen.
I will rest. And I hope that you all are successful in your endeavours.
I wish so too.
With that, do you guys make moves to leave?
Anissa, did you have
Yeah.
anything?
No, I've got.
I mean, obviously pretend that Umbra had time to ask whatever Emma wanted to ask, but yeah,
Yep.
other than that, I think we're good to.
Insert Umbra questioning moments here, although I
Yes.
think many of the
Fuck it.
questions he wanted to ask, I think you may have already asked.
That's possible. We'll see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Might have
after
a
that,
different sight.
where'd you guys go?
So here's the thing, right? Now that we have that out of the way, now that we have some questions answered, we still need to find like the actual place to go in order to deal with like all of these higher ups that are doing this like werewolf lycanthropy conversion stuff.
Not only that, because I think we sidetrack a little bit, but what about our employee?
Kurt,
Yeah.
they're still working on the cure, right?
Yeah.
So then we can't do anything with Kurt until they finish the cure.
Okay.
As far as we're concerned, that's out of our hands.
I believe at
As
this
soon
point
as
you only
they
have
have the
3
cure done.
days, though.
Say it again.
I think at this point you only have 3 days before he comes out of his own sleep coma.
It lasts for 7 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm counting
I think
the
we have
days right.
4 days
Yeah.
because we did it 3 days ago.
Yeah, that does sound right. It was 3 or 4 you have
Because
left.
because yesterday was the lightning elemental day.
Mhm.
The day before that was all of that situation. And then it was 3 days ago that they had come to take Kurt for questioning, and then that's when Jean Javert drugged him. If I'm remembering my chronological order correctly. It's 3 or 4 days, but
yeah,
like
I'll
that's
double check my notes and make sure I'm doing things right. You have at least 2 days. Let's put it that way.
At minimum we have 2 days, but they're still also doing the potion, so unless there's something we can do to speed it up, otherwise, like, we just have to go and do the heart of the whole situation.
I mean, there's 2 ways we can logically go about that. We go via the reeds, which we have an inn via Davina's brother, or we make ourselves more of a problem for them, and they come to us.
As you
Or we
say
could
that,
take-
you get the sense that stealing the key to their whole plan may have been enough.
We may already be in trouble, guys.
But DM, what about more problems?
I'm always going to invite you to create more problems if you want to.
First
I
of
mean,
all,
we've got plenty in the party.
I don't know. I'd totally be down for strong arming River. You know?
Strong arming, maybe not.
well,
Oh,
well,
come on, Anissa. You have a good strength score.
no.
I've got the best in the party, but I mean,
Just twist his arm behind his back. Grab him by the dick. Give him the old dick twister. That'll make him talk.
Never did I ever think I would hear those words in a D&D campaign.
Really?
DM, I'd like to do a grapple check and do a dick twister on him.
It just wasn't on my bingo card for this year, but that's fine.
Unfortunately, because of the limited surface area, it'd be more like a sleight of hand.
Damn. Can I still use strength for that check?
Well, it's certainly not a weapon made for finessing.
Wait, is that anyone in the roofs looking at us?
On the roofs?
Yeah, just remember that.
Not around Gadolf's good books.
well, that's good.
They don't seem to know that this place is, part of it.
Okay, I just want to keep an eye for anyone following us.
Cool. I'll bear your passive in mind.
Okay.
Hmm. So Jean Javert, I do think that if we're looking to get into all this, I do think directly through one of the veins is the best way to get to the heart, if I may be so metaphorical about it. I do think that using Riva as a lead might be one of our best bets. That's just my vote.
And I kind of agree, and I think by the thought of Davina would probably be concerned about her brother, because even though he's not working under River,
Yeah,
I'll
at
think
least she's not 15, but I am
Yep.
I'll think it is related to River, and they are really good friends.
the only thing that gives me even a little bit of like reassurance is that my brother is like just a vanilla sword guy, so like what's the motivation to do anything to him? You know what I'm saying? Like
Get back to
maybe in a
you.
hospital. I mean,
Get on the property
as far as
ladder.
Caldic is concerned, I'm a bit of a sociopath, so I don't. We'll see. I mean, I feel like he's worth more alive to me, definitely. Like if you just kill him, I will just kill you. Like you know what I'm saying? Like.
You know? She's so crazy. I love her.
So it sounds like heading to the Reed estate is the next goal.
Yeah, I do think
Yeah. I
that's
guess-
one of our. That again, this is just Jean Javert saying that he would
Yeah.
think that one of our best options would be to take a connection we know and then like utilize that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you know, my brother is not like me. Everyone
What
should know
is
that.
not like you? No one's like you.
So you know how Hayden and I are kind of both morally
Wild?
gray. That's a great word for it. Hayden isn't he's kind of actually kind of a genuinely good guy. It's kind of gross actually.
The guy next door?
Sorry, not read. Elias is kind of a genuinely good guy. It's kind of gross actually. So just like, you know, don't admit that you've been doing crimes around him, obviously. You know, make sure he's not looking if you try anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
But I have a question. If at some point uh uh your life is threat or something, would he go out of his way to protect you
Oh,
against his
absolutely.
belief?
Be careful though, because he would absolutely get himself killed trying to do that. So we must watch him.
Okay.
Alright, I think we're going to take our little break there. So, do you head to the Reed mansion?
D.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
I believe that would make it number 20 on the list.
20 or 19.
Ah, yes.
Oh, it's not too far from the Hepburn mansion.
No, this is kind of like the ritzy area of town.
Oh my god, Vanessa, you're like 2 blocks from your brother and you don't even pay him a visit.
You
Well,
don't write, you
two
don't
bro-
call.
2 blocks from her brother's like squire area place.
Now if I drop to say hello.
She's busy getting disbarred. Can you blame her?
Yes.
I mean,
Yep, so it is going past Hepburn Manor on the way. If you take the most direct route, but it depends, how sneaky we want to be.
Let's
Double check
Let's see,
for
yeah.
double checking for like tails, essentially.
Mhm.
Not really from like the Black Hand or any kind of like assassin trailing us, but rather any errant detectives or
Yeah,
guards
I'm watching
slash
for the
soldiers.
topo. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you probably cut across the green, and as you do so, you notice a figure detaching itself from the entrance to the marketplace, which is 8.
Just someone kind of like
What a
slipping
figure.
from the crowd to follow us, or
Yeah. A rather short, bulky-looking individual.
The detective.
Is this same shape as the detective?
Yes.
God damn it. This motherfucker.
It's your
Okay,
hair, you know?
He's
It's
literally
too-
just doing his job.
How dare he?
can we
You know-
really blame him for doing something that he is
You know what?
employed and paid to do? We may be
You know what?
protagonists in the current story, but he is, doing his fucking job.
You know what? Assassins also do their job. You know,
We
what?
are also bad people, technically. Let me just point out, we are not the best.
We're bad. We're not. No, we're not the good guys here. We're not, for sure not. Okay, this motherfucker. Can I want to create a minor illusion that's gonna fuck him up and put him off our trail without being too obvious about it.
That's
Let
what
me
I'm
think
talking
about how this
Fuck
is-
him up.
I meant just get him lost, okay? A minor illusion's not gonna. It can't physically touch anybody. He's fine. Relax. If I wanted to, I could shatter this whole city street. I'm not gonna do that again. I learned my lesson, but okay.
I
Um,
can't use also pass without trace, and we can just slip
Yes.
into darkness.
Let's do that. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quote unquote shortcut through an alley, and I'm going to be like, oh, actually, I know a shortcut. Why are we taking this way? And then I'm gonna take like a sharp right turn into an alley, put up a minor illusion that that it's a closed alley basically, that we just that there's just a brick wall there now. And then hopefully you can cast Pass Without Trace at the same time to boost that effect.
Cool. Yep, the detective has now reached like the corner as you're like heading down this side street. As he does see you go down here.
Yeah, and we I take a sharp turn, and then the minor illusion goes out to make it look like it's a solid wall, and then at the same time you're casting Pass Without Trace.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we all go stealth mode.
It's funny how, like you were saying earlier, oh, he's probably intelligence based as you throw a cantrip that requires an intelligence check.
I mean, here's the thing. It's just so there's two things. It's just to help. It's just to help. It's the only thing I can do to help. Also, he rolled a 2 earlier when I pickpocketed him, so he could just roll really shitty. That's a possibility.
No, the DM can roll really shitty.
They can indeed. Alright, the
Good old Ren. Reliable bad roll Ren.
Just wait till we're getting credit on.
The detective comes around the corner. I assume now you two are on the same street, but there's a illusory wall that you can see out of. you can see
The
him.
detective cannot.
Yeah,
And then confirming cast without trace question mark has been cast. That gives us all a +10 to our stealth.
I believe so.
Okay. Do you want us to roll stealth?
I will, but just let me narrate what happens first.
Okay, cool.
Before Pass Without Trace happens, the detective stops and goes, this is curious. There's never been a well here before. Must be new.
Good old reliable Ren.
So you know how I rolled a 2 last time?
Yeah.
What's worse than a 2?
Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby.
Let's not commemorate too much because next time it's gonna be like a natural 20.
Ah,
Yeah,
fuck
I'm
it all.
waiting for it. I'm waiting for it, but
Hey, listen, we take the ones that are inconsequential right now. So the natural
Yeah.
20s we get later seem like,
Like I
ah,
said,
man,
we're gonna get a natural 20 when we're getting critted on. But it's
we
fine.
need something
I'm
to
fine with it.
reminisce on.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll be
unfortunately,
like, yeah, remember when you rolled a natural one on that wall?
as he is just doing his job, the detective isn't completely deterred by just a new wall, so he looks as if he is going to attempt to climb it. You see him like wiggling his boots, eyeing this wall up.
That's gonna be funny.
Is that the time that we're just gonna like rush off to sneak?
Yeah, that's pass without trace and dip because the wall is illusory. So if the second he touches it, I don't know if he's gonna try to jump over it. It's like it has no substance.
Yeah,
So I
so
guess
at
we're
this
all
point,
rolling.
I would like you all to roll stealth checks. Don't forget the
And, if we
disadvantage
had
for those of
questions
you who
about this-
have it.
All right, so I have a
Yeah,
21.
I rolled a natural 20, so I got a 32.
I didn't know I roll with advantage.
You rolled with disadvantage, as you should.
Oh,
Because
oh,
you're
yeah.
armored.
So 24.
Nisa. Good
I mean,
old
it's
Josh.
fine. It's fine. Group checks are based on an average. Anissa may be the low-hanging fruit, but we're still fine.
I think it's that she just doesn't give a shit and is not trying to stealth. Like, I don't want to interrupt. Probably would have just walked through the park without caring that there is
Just
someone behind her.
We'll deal with it later.
Kinda, yeah.
Yep. So the detective attempts to climb the wall. As his hand goes through it, he goes, is it a law? I made an illusion. And just steps through the wall. They are gone, of course. Wily little foxes, I will find you, and I will get the truth out of you, sooner or later. He says to what he thinks is an empty alleyway.
As we're just kind of like walking off at the end, it's just like, yeah, all right.
And he just gives his little like villain
Alright,
monologue. No, a croissant.
It is my life's goal now to turn this guy into a Scooby-Doo villain.
I hate to break it to you, but we're the Scooby-Doo villains.
And he would have caught you too if it weren't for that meddling wall. With the detective successfully given the slip, you are able to arrive at the Reed estate.
Which is not even really that suspicious or weird, I just don't like that he's following us around.
It's probably best that he doesn't see us interacting with other people, especially after he saw you, like, going, especially with his knowledge of you being at a former crime scene with detectives around.
So like
Yeah.
he would
He's got
probably try
so
to
many
connect
reasons
why we
to
would.
suspect you of the thing that
Yeah.
you as a party have done.
Yeah,
He would
like how there's
probably like want to know why we're going here after he contacted us, and then
I
he'll be
just don't want
talking
him
to the
to have-
reeds.
Yeah, I just don't want him to have any more information than he already has. So the police ain't shit anyways, so it's like it's not like they're gonna be able to do anything about what's going on in this town.
So
Okay.
what do we see? And is Davina familiar at some extension with
We've
this?
actually been here as a party before
Yeah.
to see my brother.
I think that was before Gate and Mavis joined up, though.
Okay.
But yeah, like you're known enough that you can just say to the guards, like, "Hey, I'm here to see my brother" or something, and they'll know who you are and let you in.
Yeah.
I do not have a map because it's very hard to look for a huge ass map in a break. I just picture.
Sorry.
As long as we don't have to get into combat, we'll theater of the mind it.
Yeah. The Reed Estate has got a lot more foliage than the Hepburn Estate does. It's got a couple of quaint little nooks where people can play chess or have outside tea and all of that. And there's a beautiful row of rose bushes on either side of the path as you travel up to the house itself, which is about the size of 6 Hepburn manors.
Damn.
Like, this is
It's
definitely,
swanky.
yeah, the type of home that people with real generational wealth have. This would have been, purchased or built by one of the Reeds' great 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 granddads. It's got real, like,
This is what happens
heritage.
when you don't have 80 million cousins and you actually have like a consolidated estate passing from father to son for six generations. But it's
Mhm.
fine.
I was gonna say, you hear that, Davina? Real generational wealth. Not what you got going on over here.
Listen. It's not like I'm a peasant. Fight me.
The moon's like, I have no. I can be blamed by the incompetence of my ancestors.
Yeah, it's like it's not my fault that all of my ancestors are super hot and had 80 million children and they had to split up their wealth. It's fine. Okay, so are we announced or are we allowed kind of just on the grounds to roam?
You just like the guards at the front gate, just wave you in, tell you that Elias and Austin are in the combat courtyard.
Of course they are. Alright, guys, let's follow the sounds of swords.
You skirt around the side of the building where you can hear clashing and shouting. Once you get to the side, you see that the building isn't like a fully continuous rectangle. There do seem to be a couple of divots, which are courtyards. Lots of windows viewing into it. And in the center, you see your brother and his mentor practicing.
How's my brother actually like doing, by the best of my estimation? Like, is he like holding his own, or is he getting his ass handed to him?
He's holding his own about 50% of the time.
That tracks.
Oh, another Eladra worshiper.
Sorry, what?
50% of the time, coin flip, two sides, Eladra. It was a deep cut joke.
Okay.
It was good. Do you approach?
Yes, I would like to approach as noisily as possible so as to distract my brother. Because this is my sibling, therefore I must be an asshole.
So Austin looks up at you, clearly notices your approach, smiles, and waits for your brother to become distracted before taking advantage and leg sweeping his ass onto the ground.
Yes, Austin, I love you. He gets it.
Your brother falls to the
I clap
ground with
politely.
a loud rattle because he is in a chain shirt. And it just screams out in attempting to mask it, but in quite a bit of pain. It seems like that's not the first time that move has happened to him, and he's probably got quite a bruised little bum now. He stands up, pardons his master for some time before approaching you, with a look of trepidation on his face because you have only approached him with bad news so far.
No, that's so true. Oh, okay. Not about to get any better.
By the way, how
Um,
is Davina brother look like?
You've got a image, haven't you, Sarah?
I do. I don't know if you have that handy. I can grab it.
I don't, I'm afraid, if you could. From what I recall,
Yeah, I'll take it.
he's quite, Well, actually, I do think I made a token of him.
I think this might be it.
Oh, there he is. So he's got that signature red hair, quite a square jaw. Looks like the definition of a swarthy knight.
Do you want your water skin before I start talking, or should I just?
No, just tell me who has died now.
Have I told him about Mom yet?
Yes, he has learned
Okay, I think
about
it's him.
Mum.
Apparently somebody at an inn I visited yesterday, 2 days ago. But that's not really why I'm here.
And did you do it?
I kick him in the shins.
My client is not willing to reveal any information whether she did or did not on her guilt. We are waiting for our court trial.
He just nods, thinking
Oh,
that's a yes then. Like he's really
Oh,
not
I,
hiding the disdain.
Elias, come on. It was very bloody. You know, I don't get my hands dirty.
Actually,
It was quite the opposite.
it was very bloodless. If we
Hmm.
are gonna get semantic,
Whether or
I'm
not
lying to
he
your
knows
brother.
about that is another question. So what are you doing here then? Nice to see you and all that. Hello, sis. What are you doing here?
I just give him a look. A long look. Hayden's great, by the way. Yeah, she's really adjusting well to losing mother and having people trying to kill her and
Yes,
people barging into the house, and
she comes to
we
visit
appreciate you
most
stopping
days.
by and checking in on her.
She comes to visit me most days. Watches us fight, you know, when you're out doing whatever it is you're doing with these people.
Some of us actually have jobs. Some of us work for a living.
What a noble pursuit that is. Remind me, how is your job going, Davina?
Great, I'm freelancing now.
He just kind of takes a sec and then goes, "You didn't come all this way just to fight, I assume? Though you are in the right courtyard for that."
Oh, don't tempt me. We actually have, we've learned some information. I kind of like look at my friends, and we thought you might want to know some things, or might know some things. So, you wanted to ask about, gosh, remind me which read we're asking him about.
River.
River. You didn't spend much time with River, do you?
With them, no. Not if I can help it.
Not if you can help it.
They're odd. Very,
I make a motion, like, keep talking.
very interested in things that most people would find distasteful. Weird friends, that sort of weird.
Uh-huh. Well, that is in alignment with some things that we've learned. Tell me about these friends.
Well,
Do they come to the house?
sometimes. They're always referred to with pseudonyms.
Such as.
There's this, Aarakocra, she's always just referred to as the sister.
Albino?
Yes. Rather old looking. There's this man that just really turns my stomach. A type that I would never let Hayden or you around. Just oozes malevolence. He's always referred to as the knave.
Any features or anything about him you can describe to us?
Very
Outside
pale.
of his repulsiveness.
He's very pale, blonde hair, very long. Quite a tall
Lines
fellow.
up. Lines up with our favorite harasser.
Yeah. Sabao. I think Sabao actually.
Yep.
Yeah, figures.
Interesting.
Yes, there's other people as well. They generally wear masks. They have lots of dogs as well. Really gunks up the furniture for the housekeepers.
You don't say. Are they in the house quite a lot?
Yes, they've been coming just about every night for the past week.
Have they? Do you? It seems like you don't really enjoy being around them. Do you usually dine out, or?
Thankfully, the place is big enough that we can eat wherever we desire. I normally take my evening meal in the kitchen.
In the kitchen? With the staff?
They're quite nice
Never mind,
people once you get to know them.
It's whatever. All right. So, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Are you going to freak out if I tell you something?
It depends
You
on what
just
you
be like-
tell me.
I just need you to promise me that your reaction is going to be proportionate to what I'm going to tell you.
I suppose yes then.
Are we sequestered away, or is this out in the open?
Yeah, you kind of wandered a little bit away from Austin. He's wandered a little bit away from you, but if you were really trying, he can overhear everything. If you're just
Okay, I
talking
think
at
I'm
like
gonna
a
do
normal pitch.
one of those moves where it's like, as we've been talking, I've been kind of steering him further and further away so that he
Right.
can't be overheard.
Talking about intrigue in a rose garden, how very particular.
Yeah, it's like very, very Game of Thrones of like I'm like gently guiding him away from prying ears as we've been like
Yeah.
leading up to this.
Yeah.
What is this? A period piece?
Alright. Well. This group of people, I think, maybe, is doing a variety of things, but also has tried to assassinate me and maybe Hayden. I think I was the intended target at least once. So it's a problem, right? I'm gonna see how he reacts to that before I say anything else.
He seems to be bottling up his emotions quite a lot right now, but he's very annoyed to hear this.
Oh, so he's Catholic.
He's definitely
so
a
obviously, like,
traditional
we're all
boy.
Irish. We all bottle up our emotions. Yeah, we just drink them away. It's fine. Okay. So that's a thing that's been happening that we've been sort of dealing with and investigating, and it's not just me. Many people have disappeared or been killed, and that's part of the reason the police are involved. Or that are they called, like, what are they actually called? Are like the town guard? You use the term detective. Like, is there a proper name for like
local
that
police.
organization? Okay.
The proper name would be the policing establishment of the great city of Orisier.
Okay, so it is like actually police. So the police are involved because people have been disappearing and being replaced, maybe, and things have been very strange, as you might imagine. So, I'm glad that your instincts have steered you away from these people. They're very dangerous. Don't try anything. You're not going to do anything stupid, right?
I plan to do nothing right now. Just me alone against a pack of dogs and their pets does not seem like a good idea.
Probably not. Probably not. Well, speaking of dogs, I believe this group is involved with actual lycanthropes and vampires and honestly, God knows what else. There's been some blood magic involved, and it's all been very messy. And we suspect that River is involved, obviously, and there are other things
sense.
too, but I don't.
That
Sorry, what?
that would make sense. That odd one, the knave, Sabal, I think you called him, has his
Yes. Well,
personal selections of red wines that he brings with him to dinners. No one else is allowed to touch them. They always smelt
I assume
odd.
he never comes for afternoon tea, only dinner, once the sun is set.
Indeed.
And I'll just whisper to Davina, like, for her to show the bite marks that she got from the
I don't know if he
invasion.
needs to. But I kind of like pull my hair over my neck and then pull my dress down just a little bit and just be like, just be careful. He does. Actually, I don't think this was one of his underlings, but they bite and they can charm. So just be careful.
He examines your bite wound with a mix of horror and worry. You can see him clenching his fist and resisting the urge to
Okay.
actually do something.
Deep breath. You promised you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything stupid. You're not going to get yourself killed. You're not father, okay? Deep breath.
No. But if you are hunting them, I want in. What is your plan? Are you going to come
Based
here in the
on-
evening?
Based on my brother's skill level with what I just witnessed with like his fighting, can he actually hold up in a fight like this, or would he be like one hit kill?
He's not like your average commoner. He has some heft to him for sure.
Okay.
He's, you know, while you were arguing to get bad people out of court, he was training the blade.
Okay. I think that might actually be a solid plan. And I'm kind of like looking at the party to kind of gauge their reactions to the idea of coming here on a night when these guys are going to be here. Do you know if they're going to be attending dinner tonight?
Most likely, they do come most evenings.
So the plan is to follow them or deal with them here.
If they are all in the same place, I don't see why not.
Do you think the other reeds will be an issue? The guards? I mean, if River is involved.
He traditionally sends away most of the guards when his friends come over.
I wonder why.
After dinner, they usually sequester themselves in River's wing. Yes, he has a whole wing of this place to themselves.
Do you have access to that wing?
No. But I'm sure one of you is more than handy with getting into places where you're not wanted.
I mean, wanted is a strong word, but perhaps not permitted.
Yes.
There should be no difficulties there. Let's discuss the wisdom of this plan and exact parameters. Maybe not here. Would you like to come and visit your sisters for an afternoon?
I will see if I can
At
get
Hepburn
permission.
Manor? Good, good. Let me know if you want me to talk to him. I can work my magic if needed.
Please don't charm my boss.
I promise not to marry him. How's that?
You see, he just shudders.
I'm wondering why we can't just like recommending like maybe we just hunker down here and then just wait for night.
It would be noticed because like they know that we're here right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we're expected to leave, and it wouldn't then our presence wouldn't be like it wouldn't be an ambush. It wouldn't be a surprise. They would know that we were. I didn't ask for like a.
But I would like to like.
That's why I didn't ask for like a
Place
dinner
some trap.
invitation. Sorry, my headset just said I had to change it. Did I miss anything?
No, alright, so we're gonna just like be tailing them after they leave.
I mean, I think my brother wants to like straight up murder them while we're here because
Yeah,
someone suggested I show him a certain bite mark, which is he's got a temper, guys.
But that's the thing. If some one of them get away, we now be able to track the place they are.
Here's the odd thing is I never recall them arriving through a door. They just always seem to be there.
Secret door, secret passageway, secret tunnel.
Secret
So-
tunnel.
Secret tunnel. Either secret tunnel or someone can teleport.
So now I don't think that we should leave then.
Okay. You think we should stay here?
I just think that if they do indeed get onto the premises via a way that's already connected here, maybe we can take that to where they are.
You could pretend to be part of the new house staff. I've made quite good friends with the cook here. Davina, if you can demean yourself enough to pretend to be the help, that may work.
Never have you seen Davina look more disgusted. Like, she's stepped in, like, gore before and had a less gross look on her face.
Do you really believe your sister can put that off?
Maybe you should pretend to be her bodyguards instead. Though they will, of course, question why you are here uninvited.
Which is, again, why I don't think ambush is a bad idea, or even, you know, just dropping in as a surprise.
Well, that does mean that we don't have to wait for nightfall. All we gotta do is find our way over to secret tunnel, magical teleportation circle, whatever it is. Then we'll
mean-
end up directly where we need to be.
If you all recall, the last time we fought one of these creatures of the night, they were able to just magically disappear. I don't know if they were invisible or if they teleported, but if they have the magical ability to move between spaces without a teleportation circle, there's going to be nothing to find, and we could potentially get caught sneaking around, which is not... I could get out of it, but it's just not a good look.
But to correct you there, when that happened, they drank a potion and then disappeared.
Oh, they drink a potion. I mean, but
Yeah.
still, it's like they have access to resources that allow them to.
Yeah.
I guess it probably was a potion of
We
invisibility.
have access to the same resources. Like all he did was drink an invisibility potion, as far as we could tell.
I mean,
Yes, but
Like,
yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
he's not the big boss though. I'm gonna say we don't even know what the head honcho can do. Also, we know that he can turn into a bat, so that, I mean that could be how he's showing up. Like we don't know that there's like a. I'm saying like relying on the fact that like there is like assuming there's a secret tunnel is, you know, we can't rely on it. It's a possibility, but we can't rely on that to.
But it's
Capture our
not
plans.
just him. It's him.
Yeah, it's a
and-
group of people,
Yeah.
but everybody could have these abilities individually,
Well,
possibly.
I'm sure that Umbra here is under the thought that if we don't act now, then we're essentially just giving up the opportunity.
No, I agree we should do it tonight. I don't. I'm saying maybe we go back to Hepburn Manor and discuss in more detail and with more privacy how we want to go about this, and return by or before dinner.
Before, yeah.
Also, we have shaken our police tail, so we might just want to stay here. Okay, now I
Okay.
can't decide. Thanks a lot, guys.
What Anissa thinks.
Good question. Not much. Not much goes on in that brain. Just mainly been observing Davina's brother because he is a squire, and so it's as if another knight is looking at a squire. It's very much not looking down on, but more assessing, like, how could he stand up in a fight?
Hmm. You can assess that he would stand up like fairly okay. You wouldn't trust him to like frontline the head vampire. Oh, this Sabal character, I mean. Like you wouldn't expect him to one-on-one the guy, but you think that he could certainly help out with at least being a bit of a meat shield for like for the lesser
meat shield.
creatures.
I'm impartial on the method we take. I believe the squire standing in front of me is sufficient enough to at least hold against certain hostiles. As far as I can tell, you've been taught well.
He bows to you, showing deference to someone who is clearly of a higher rank in knighthood than he.
Though it is your decision and your decision alone as to whether you fight.
I shall fight.
Good. That's what I would expect.
I do think we went through a lot of trouble to getting here without being noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we spent a one of us spent a spell slot just to make sure that
Yeah,
we
why
could
don't-
get here.
You know what? Why don't you show us your quarters? I haven't seen them in a minute.
I will have to ask my master, but I don't see why not.
Davina starts adjusting her top so it's slightly more low cut. And does the hair flip thing. Okay. Yeah, let's go with him.
The bend and snap.
Yeah, exactly.
Elias goes over, just stutters like, my sister has got me something for my quarters. She wants to hang it in there. Do you mind if I take them for a second? Austin just kind of sighs. I'm going to go to the kitchens and see about acquiring myself a little cheese sandwich. Would you like one as well, dear boy? Elias will nod, the two go their separate ways, and he begins to bring you to his quarters.
Alright. So, we just need to find somewhere to lay low until dinner time.
And
How are you actually getting on here?
It's not too bad, actually. I quite like it here. I'm being taught some very noble arts, and I feel quite at home. I am the one responsible for the cleaning of my own quarters, but I feel that's just part of the hazing process.
How many years are you?
So,
I have 2 years left on my squirehood.
Wait till the last year, then you'll really get hazed.
I look forward to it.
I wouldn't.
He just kind of nods like, alright, alright.
is that like in the way to the quarters? Do we pass close by the river wing?
No, the river wing is on the opposite side of the building, I'm afraid. I have been given quarters rather close to the business area. Because as you are led into the quarters, you realise that you can see into the courtyard that you were just in.
Ah.
It's it's not squalor, but it's not particularly fancy. Just a simple 20-foot square room. Nice, sturdy, well-made, very old bed. You estimate it's probably at least 200 years old alone, though the sheets are brand new. Everything has been upholstered with custom fabric that no doubt River has done themselves. And it's a very cozy place. The cleanliness it's actually fairly clean. Your brother is not too bad at keeping the place clean on his own.
Oh.
I'm honestly shocked.
Me too.
You can lay low here until the evening if you want. I can find you when I know that they're in the building.
Sounds perfect. And I think I actually will take some measurements because this room is kind of. You have 2 years left. I actually could hang something in here for. I could commission you. Portrait, maybe.
I would appreciate that because I've already told my master that you have it. He rarely comes to my room, but just in case.
Yeah, I'll commission something. Let me just. And she does that that girl measuring thing of using your hands on the wall and doing a comparison of how long her arm is to how long the wall is.
I think I get you. It's probably about 4 Davinas wide.
Okay.
And is actually slightly less deep than it is wide. It's about 3.5 Davinas deep.
Could I suggest Umbra to accompany Davina's brother and, lay low and try to investigate around the manor?
You know what? I think that is a question that we should ask Bailey next week.
Okay.
But I assume plan for now, hunker down in Elias's chambers, wait for him to give you the signal?
Yeah.
Alright. I think we'll end things there for this week then.